Hello, Carol. I'm back.
Hello, teacher. How are you?
I'm
Only
still good. Was
very
the
good.
last class difficult?
Oh, teacher, very difficult. Very difficult. For this
I
reason,
told
stay
you,
here again.
no problem. You can watch as many classes as you want.
Oh my
But
gosh.
that is something I would suggest you printing and studying, really studying. Understand?
Yeah.
Because once you learn how to use them correctly, you can make more elaborate sentences. Understand?
Yes.
You can write
Yes.
better. You can express yourself better. Okay. And there are a lot of little details. Okay. Like the use of the
Hmm.
comma. Sometimes when I'm preparing students for the TOEFL or any other proficiency test, I read fast
Hmm.
and I say, well, it sounds okay. But when I look, where's the comma? No comma. And then it's wrong. Just a comma makes a sentence completely wrong.
Ah, my
Understand?
gosh. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why it's important, especially you. You told me that you write, you have to write, So if you
Yes.
need to write,
Yes. Oh,
you
teacher,
have
let
to
me ask
learn.
you something. What's the difference of these tests, the TOEFL, TOEIC, and TOEIC? And I think that we have the CELTA too, no?
CELTA is for teachers,
Ah,
okay?
only for
Uh,
teachers. Ah, okay.
yes. TOEIC is a test of English for international communication. For
Ah, okay.
example, there is a company, I used to give these tests to all the employees once a year, and based
Mm,
on the result of the TOEIC, the employees could get a promotion or not, understand? Because
yes.
it was a multinational. So
Ah, yes.
the better they spoke English, the better position they would achieve inside of this company. So
Okay, understood.
every year they were supposed to take the TOEIC. On the
Okay.
other hand, the TOEFL test is a test for someone who wants to go to university, is a more academic test.
Ah, okay.
It's only for people that wants to get an MBA or a doctorate degree or a master degree. Then they are required to take the TOEFL.
Ah, okay,
The
understood.
same company that prepares the TOEIC prepares the TOEFL. It's the same
Ah,
company. Understand?
okay.
So that's why it's interesting because the kind of exercises they usually give are similar because it's the same team that prepares both exams. Understand?
Okay.
Now, on the other hand, you have the test prepared by British universities like
The
Cambridge,
Cambridge.
yes,
Ah,
Cambridge,
okay.
IELTS, okay? These are usually required by British, Canadian, some Canadian universities also require the British exams and not the TOEFL. TOEFL is more for American companies, okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then you have the first certificate, the Cambridge Advanced, and you have the PET, that's the proficiency, that's the highest level of the Cambridge exams. And you
Ah,
also
okay.
have the IELTS, okay? They are all tests of proficiency, okay? For
Okay.
instance, many people that want to immigrate to Canada, okay, to move to Canada, they are required to take the IELTS test, understand?
Okay.
And they
Understood.
have to get a very good score. Hello,
Okay.
Marcos. How are you tonight?
Hello, I'm fine. And you guys?
Hello, Marcos.
Very good. Thank you.
Hello,
Okay.
Carol.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. And you? How's your
Okay,
day?
fine. Fine, thank
Okay.
you.
Today's lesson, Marcos, as Carol has already noticed, it's kind of difficult and important. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to fool around very long because we have a lot of things to talk about. Okay? Okay. Livia has just
Okay.
arrived, so we can start the class. I'm going to share the screen and start demonstrating what we will be talking about today. Hello, Livia. She's still connecting. Oh, as I said, remember, Marcos, we talked about TOEFL yesterday.
Yes,
So
I
I
remember.
prepared, yeah, this lesson was prepared based on certain questions that you have in the TOEFL test. You even have some examples that I extracted from the TOEFL to show you how tricky they can be, understand? But once you dominate the topic, once you can master the idea, you can answer in like 2 seconds, 3 seconds. But if
Very
you
nice.
don't understand, you can stay there looking at the question for 10 minutes and you can't find the answer, okay? So what are we going to talk about? Sentences with multiple clauses. What is this? More elaborate sentences, okay? Because a clause is a part of a sentence. So when I say, oh, that's a long sentence, it's because it contains more than one clause, okay? So,
Okay.
Livia, are you already with us or no?
Yes. Are you printing the material? Wait a minute.
Okay. Also, okay. Marcos.
So
Yeah,
that I
start.
can, it's better.
Okay. Marcos, can you read the introduction for us, please?
Okay. Many sentences in English have more than one clause. A clause is a group of words containing a subject and a verb. Every time you have two clauses in a sentence, you must have a connector between them, either at the beginning of the sentence or in the middle of the sentence.
Okay. This is the most important statement of the lesson. This is something you have to remember always. It is not possible to have two clauses together without a connector. Understand? Of course, you can always say, I am old, my wife is young. It's okay. But I'm not joining. It's just two isolated sentences. I am old, my wife is young. If I want to join them into just one sentence, I am going to say something like, well, I am kind of old. I don't think I'm old. I'm kind of old, but my wife is young. Okay? So, but is used to introduce a contrasting idea. Okay? Like you have here, the most common connector. These are the simplest ones, the very basic ones, okay? And, but, or, so, and yet. Okay? So, later, I can even try to explain something that is also very advanced in English called parallel structuring. I don't know if we have studied this or not, but the same construction you must have on both sides of the sentence. You cannot say, for example, Ted plays soccer and Tom is playing tennis. No. If I say Ted is playing soccer, if I use the present continuous, I have to use the present continuous in the other part. It must be the same construction. Okay, like Mary is old, but her sister is young. Old, young, okay? I cannot say Mary is, for example, Mary works in a restaurant, comma, in a bookstore, and as a dancer.
I would say like that.
You see, that's the problem. If you say Mary works in a restaurant, what is this? A place, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
In a bookstore, what is this?
Place.
A place. And as a dancer, dancer is a place?
No.
No.
The
Profession.
profession.
It's a profession, exactly. So this is called parallel structuring. You can't have different things. You must have the same. I will change it. For example, Mary works in a restaurant, comma, in a bookstore, and in a strip bar. Now it's perfect.
Yes.
Okay? Because I have 3 places. Okay? So I have more examples here. Ted is young, but Tom is old. Ted has to write the report, or introduce an alternative. John will do it. John told us a funny story, so we all laughed. May is feeling exhausted, yet she's not going to bed. Here I don't have a sequence of things. I have two sentences, okay? That's why I can have, for example, Teddy has to write in the present, or John will. I have two clauses joined by or. It's different of a list. The parallel structure works in a list. When I have a sequence of things, they must all be the same, okay? So I'm not going to spend much time here because this is the easiest part, okay? I want to talk about the more difficult ones. Time and cause connectors. Can you read this for us, Carol?
Sentence with adverb clauses have two basic partners in English. Try to understand them below.
Okay.
I will sign the contract before you depart. Before you depart, I will sign the contract.
Excellent. So observe something here. When I say I will sign the contract, I, subject, will sign is the verb, the contract. Before is the time connector. You depart. Okay? So I have subject, verb, connector, subject, verb. If I use like this, if I start with the main clause, not the noun clause, the main clause, I will sign the contract. Observe that there is no comma. I will sign the contract before you depart. But if I decide to change the order, which is not important, I need to introduce the comma. Or before you depart, comma, I will sign the contract. And as I have already told, if you forget to use the comma here, it's a mistake. And in tests like TOEFL or TOEIC or IELTS or any Cambridge, this is an incorrect sentence. So the use of the comma is mandatory. You have to use it. So read the note, Carol. Note that.
Note that in the first sentence, the time connector before was used between the two sentences, so we don't need to use a comma. Between the sentence, once we change the order and place the time clause at the beginning of the sentence, we have to use the comma.
All right, this is exactly what I told you. If you invert the order, placing before at the beginning, then it's mandatory to use the comma. So here I have, Marcos, as I told you, an example that I got from the TOEFL. You only have this, was late, comma, I missed the appointment. And you have to decide if the correct answer is A, B, C, or D. So, Carol, be quiet. Lívia and Marcos, what do you think? What do you think is correct here? A, B, C, or D?
D.
B.
Yes. Yes,
okay.
D.
Lívia, what's your... Lívia says D, as in day. Yes?
I think so.
Okay. Oh, Marcos, I regret to tell you that you're wrong. Lívia is right.
Oh, why?
Okay?
I said D. D seems here. Is wrong?
You said D?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I think it's your baianos. It's your baianos accent. Okay?
Sorry.
Yeah, because what I got here was B. Okay?
Sorry, I said D.
Okay, so I am glad to tell you that you are both right. You see, 60% of the applicants taking the TOEFL test would have answered A or B? A or C? Why? Was late. So they think, I was late. I missed the appointment. Or-
Yes.
That's why it's
or
letter
the
A.
train. Yeah. Or
first
the train was late. The train was late. I missed the appointment. Okay? So both sound good. But the problem is, I have one sentence with two clauses, and I have a comma between them, which means that a connector was placed at the beginning, and I need a subject and a verb for both of them. So letter A, I, it's a subject, but I don't have a connector, so it's wrong. Letter B, as in ball, I have the connector because, but I don't have a subject. If it was because I, it would be okay. Letter C, I have the train was late. I missed the appointment. I have the subject, but I don't have a connector, so it's wrong. The only possible alternative is letter D. Since he was late, as a consequence of this, I missed the appointment. Understand? That's the only possible answer I can have because that's the only one. And that's why it's easy when you dominate the topic to answer the questions. It's the only answer. There is no other answer with a connector and a subject. Understand? Understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
So when I look at this, I go immediately looking for a connector because I have two sentences and a subject. And then the only possible is letter D, finish. I go to the next, okay? So,
Teacher,
yes.
I see only, I note only now in the first examples, Ted is young, but Tom is old. We have a comma. In this case, it's not obligation.
No, those
No.
were different cases. Those
Yes.
were, yes, okay? Here's another story, okay?
Yes, but in this first case, I can use or not.
With and, or, but, yet, and so.
Okay.
In those cases, you always have a comma, okay, before the connector.
Perfect.
Okay?
Perfect. Okay.
You always use a comma before and. Like she stole, if you have two sentences, of course. If you say she stole and thin, I don't have a comma. She stole, but her sister is short. Then I have a comma because I have two sentences.
Okay, perfect.
All right? Okay.
Right.
So let's see here a table which I did for you containing all the adverbs of time and cause. Livia, can you read for us, please, all the adverbs of time and clause that are in this list, and let's see if you understand all of them.
Yes. Time. After, as soon as long as, before, by the time, on, since, until, when, whenever, while.
Okay. Any question about any of these connectors or no?
No.
Okay, read the other ones, please.
Cause. As, because, in as
much as.
I've never seen. Now that, since.
Yes. Any question about this?
As much as.
In as much as means the same of because, okay?
Okay.
Yes, as, in as much as, okay? It's practically the same, okay?
Okay.
So, observe now how to make the sentences correct. There are two patterns. I can use subject plus a verb and any of the connectors Let me move my, okay. I can have a subject plus a verb, any of these connectors, time or cause, and then on the other side, I need another subject and I need another verb. And observe that if I do it like this, there is no comma, okay?
Okay.
But I can also invert the order. There is an example here. Mary went outside. Mary went outside. That Mary is the subject, went is the verb, the rest is not important because it's the connector. It was a beautiful day. So I have the connector, subject, and verb. Or I invert the position. I use the adverb connector first, then the subject, then a verb, comma, then I use another subject and verb. Like, because it was a beautiful day, Mary went outside. Okay? Observe the use of comma now that you started the sentence with the connector. Any problem about this or no problem?
No problem.
No,
No problem.
no problem.
Okay. Now, as I told you, the problems will start with number 3 and number 4. Okay?
For me, it started in the other
bigger
class.
the number, the more difficult. So, yes. Livia, can you read this for us? Other adverb connectors.
Okay. Adverb connectors can express many different ideas, not only time and cause. Pay attention to other important connectors.
Read the examples, please.
I will go to the movies at 8 o'clock if my wife is ready. Even though I was unemployed, I managed to survive with the help of friends.
Okay, so here I have 2 other connectors. Even though is a contrast, and if is a conditional connector. You see, observe that. I will go to the movies at 8 if my wife is ready. There is no comma because if is in the middle. If I invert it, if my wife is ready, comma, I will go to the movies at 8, okay? Just like in the second example. Even though I was unemployed, comma, I managed to survive with the help of friends, all right? So I included, that's why I said it's important to print this lesson to study because of the number of common adverb connectors that you have, understand? So in terms of condition, can you read all the connectors for us, Carol?
Yes, if a condition, if in case providing, unless whether. Continue? Whether.
No, stop there. Let's discuss this. Do you understand all of them or is there any problem?
Teacher.
Most Brazilians have never seen provided and providing as a connector. They only think of provide as a verb, but they are connectors and they mean a condition. For example, I am in Salvador. Marcos invites me to have some carajé, for example. Then I say, well, it's okay, let's go. I will have them, provided they are not very spicy. Understand? I will have them, provided they are not very spicy. Or I will have them, providing they are not very spicy. Okay? So provided is almost the same of if. In this case, when used as a condition. Okay? Unless it's a little different. Yes.
About weather.
Okay, that's what I was going to talk about now.
Because the same thing of if, but I...
Weather is the same of if. If you look up in a dictionary for the definition, it's the same of if. But whether is the right choice when you have more than one condition. For example,
okay.
okay, I will have the acarajés, okay, whether they are not spicy or expensive. Two
Okay.
conditions. Whether they are not spicy or expensive. So when you have only one condition, you use if they are not very spicy. But I have spicy and expensive, two conditions. So I have to use whether. And there is a convention. If you stop, for example, I will go to Campos do Jordão whether I have money. And I stop there. Everybody understands that the second condition is you have money or not. When the second condition is or not, it's not necessary to say it. Everybody understands. Okay, like sometimes I tell my wife, I'm going out. No, you're not going out. No, I'm going out with some friends. No, you're not going out. I'm going out whether you like it. And I stop there, okay? To avoid more fights than saying whether you like it or not. I don't say that. I just say whether you like, okay? But she understands. She gets the message, okay? Livia, can you read the ones about contrast?
Yes. Although, even though, while, whereas.
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 Yes. You can say, are they different? No, they are all used to introduce a contrast. Like, although I work very hard, I never have money. Even though I work hard, I never have money. I'm not a lawyer, I'm just a teacher. Okay?
Me too.
Oh, no, you are an engineer, man. You are an engineer. Okay? That's different, okay? So they all introduce a contrast. In terms of manner and place, what are the connectors used, Max?
Sorry, I didn't get that. Can you repeat?
Can you read the connectors of manner and place?
Okay. As, in that, where, wherever.
Okay. All these words, you can say, but where is a question word? Yes, I know. But it can also be used as a connector. Okay? All right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We will see examples here. The formation is exactly like the previous one. That's something like a formula for you to memorize. I have a subject plus a verb, then I have the adverb connector, and on the other part, subject and verb. That's it. I always need to have a subject and a verb, subject and a verb, and a connector in the middle. Or, example, Mary went outside even it was raining. Or I have an adverb connector plus subject plus verb, comma, subject plus verb. Even though it was raining, Mary went outside. Any question about this part or no?
No.
Okay. Sometimes people ask me, I'm going to write here for you because it was not supposed to be taught in this class. What is the difference between in spite of or even though? The meaning is exactly the same. Okay? There is no difference in meaning. But in spite of is not a connector. Okay? Even though, yes. What's the difference that exists between in spite of and even though? Is in terms of the construction. After even though, I always need to have a subject plus a verb. Even though I am, even though I work, even though I like. And when I use in spite of, that's exactly the difference. I can never have a subject and a verb. I'm going to have a verb in the ing, understand?
Yes.
Without a subject, or a pronoun, or a noun. I can never have a verb phrase, never. For example, even though I work hard, I never have any money. Oh, even though I work hard, I never have any money. So even though I work, subject and verb. If I want to change even though and use in spite of, I cannot say in spite of I, no. In spite of working hard, I never have any money. Okay? These sentences are exactly the same. In spite of my hard work, I never have any money. Understand?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good. It's exactly the same, no difference. Okay? And the other formation is the adverb connector at the beginning, plus the subject plus the verb, the comma, subject and verb. Like even though it was raining, or even though it was raining, Mary went outside. I could say, in spite of the rain, Mary went outside. Okay? But in spite of is not commonly used as a connector, but I can use in this case.
But
Observe the
I,
comma.
teacher,
Yes.
in the construction of the phrase, when I use in spite of, I have to use the comma or is not necessary?
Yes, yes, yes. You have to use the comma. In spite of the rain, comma, Mary went outside. Okay?
Okay.
Every time you start the sentence with any pronoun connector like this, okay? You have to use the comma between the two sentences. If they are in the middle, no. Okay?
Okay.
That's what I say here in yellow. Observe the use of comma now that you started the sentence with the connector. But there is a note number 2. A comma is often. Often doesn't mean always. Often used in the middle of a sentence with a contrast connector. So if you see it, this is grammatically accepted. With the contrast connectors. The contrast connectors are although, even though, while, and whereas. If I have any of these, I can use a comma between them, even if they are in the middle, okay? Oh, the Johnston family left to the airport at 3 o'clock, comma, while the Anderson family left at 4. Okay?
Okay.
Any question about this, or can I go to the another one that is a little more difficult?
I have one question.
Yes, please. Shoot.
Though is only used at the end of the sentence?
You can use it after the comma, okay? When you in the middle too, but you can use, it's more commonly used at the end. I'd like to go to the movies. I don't have any money though, okay? Yes, it's the same of however.
Yes.
Yes, it's the same of however, okay? Usually they prefer to use however at the beginning, though at the end, okay? So let's go to another one. Sentence with noun clause connectors. Livia, can you read this for us?
Yes. A noun clause is a clause that functions as a noun because the noun clause is a noun. It is used in a sentence as either an object of a verb, an object of a preposition, or the subject of the sentence.
Okay, let's understand this. Do you remember a few classes ago, we talked about the use of adjective clauses that were introduced by who, what, whom, remember or no? Like, I went out with the girl who was married to Dr.
yes.
Johnson.
Yeah.
I found the book which is used in this class. I knew the girl whose father died at the accident. Okay? Well, adjective clauses are used to modify a noun. If I say, I knew the girl, only this, you're going to say, what girl? It is not clear in the sentence, the girl that I'm talking about. That's why it's necessary to give another sentence providing additional information about this girl. Her father died in the accident last night. So her father died in the accident last night refers to the girl. Then if I want to join them, since her father died in an accident last night is modifying a noun, this sentence is called adjective clause. I know the girl whose father died in the accident last night. I went out with the girl who was married to Dr. Johnson. The man who works for IBM is here. Okay? I can introduce adjective clause after the subject or after the object. It's not important. They always go after the noun that you want to describe. But now we are going to talk about noun clauses, adjective clauses. The difference is they will never modify a noun. They are the noun. If I tell you, I know, and I stop there, are you going to, exactly, at the same time, you're going to say, what do you know? What are you talking about? So if I know something. So I know what happened last night. So what happened last night is a noun clause because it's modifying a verb. Oh, you know what? What happened last night? Understand? Now, if I talk like this, it's very easy. Like that famous movie, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Have you seen this movie?
Yes.
Yes.
I think there is number 1, number 2, number 3. Yes, they
Like a
killed
horror
somebody
movie.
in a car accident. Yes, it's a horror movie. They killed somebody in an accident, and then they started getting a letter. I know what you did last summer. And everybody started getting killed. Yes, yes, it's a classical movie. You can find it on Netflix if you search for. So anyway, this I know what you did last summer. This sentence, what you did last summer, as you can see here, is the object of the verb to know. I know what you did last summer. But I can also say, I'm not worried about what I did last night. I did something wrong, probably. But I have 2 lawyers in my class, so I can talk to them and I can get a discount and I will walk away. So I'm not worried about what I did last night, okay? In this case, what I did last night is the object of the preposition about, okay? And now comes to the most difficult one. I can use this noun clause as the subject of the sentence. And that is what confuses all the Brazilians in any proficiency test, as we are going to see in one example we have here. Oh, what I did last night is not your business. What I did last night, this is the subject of the sentence. It's a noun clause, but it's used as the subject. The verb of this sentence is not did. The main verb is. What I did last night is not your business. Understand this? Yes or no?
Yes.
This is the biggest problem. when I place them in front. And as you are going to see, okay?
So, teacher,
As you are going to see here, yes.
it's not necessary in this phrase. It's not necessary I put it after night. Like what I did last night, it is not your business because the subject of the phrase is the noun clause.
Yes, it's not necessary it because it is what I did last night. Oh, if you ask me last night, teacher, it's not your business. Okay? It is not your business. Or what I did last night is not your business. This entire sentence, if I ask you, replace this sentence by a pronoun, you use it. It's not your business. So if I use it again, what I did last night, it is not, I have double subject. Understand? That's redundance. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, take a look in a example from the TOEFL test. Oh, was late, caused many problems. I have here that he, the driver, there because. Which one do you think is the right answer now?
Letter A.
A, B, C, D, E.
Letter A.
A, B, C, D, or E?
E? What is the E?
E?
I don't know.
None of the questions.
Letter A, I guess. A.
Marco's opinion A. Lívia.
I really don't know, but maybe letter D is not missing because he was late.
Yeah. Oh. You don't have he. You have only because. You have to tell me this is a TOEFL exam. Okay? I got it from the TOEFL test. Carol, what do you think?
I know that, teacher. I know the answer.
I know that, teacher. I know that, teacher. That, teacher.
Now I know.
Oxi.
The correct
Why she knows?
answer. Because she watches all my classes. She loves me, understand?
I
Don't
think
let
letter
her
A
husband
is the
discover her,
subject.
okay? What is the correct, Lívia?
I think it's letter A because I need the subject.
That's the only possible response because that's the only one that contains the connector and the subject. The verb here is caused. That's the verb. Okay? So was is also a verb, but it's the verb of the first sentence. So if it's the verb of the first sentence, I need another subject here, and I also need a connector because I have two sentences. Then I have that he was late. The fact that he was late caused many problems. Understand? The others are, the driver is only the subject, no connector. There is not a connector. Because it's a connector, but I don't have a subject. Understand? So the only possible correct answer is that he was late caused many problems. The fact that he was late caused many problems. Okay? Understand?
Yes.
So now you have here another table with the most common noun clauses, connectors, and how to use them correctly. So in this case, we have only what, when, where, why, and how, whatever, whenever, whether or if, and that. In the case, in the example above, the connector was that, the fact that. But they don't have to say the fact that he was late. Only that he was late. So the order,
okay.
yes. No, that's why I told you this lesson is important, because when Brazilians see that, they only think of that as the demonstrative or the adjective connector, you know, that we use, like I went out with the girl that was married. In this case, many people know. But to say at the beginning of the sentence that he was late caused many problems, no, this is unusual. So if you observe the construction here, it's similar. Subject plus verb, connector plus subject plus verb. I know, connector what, subject you, verb did. I know what you did last night. Or I invert the order. I use the noun connector plus subject plus verb plus another verb, because the first verb belongs to the first noun sentence or noun clause. What you did last night, this entire sentence is the subject. It's not my business. Okay?
Okay.
Good. In some cases, a noun clause connector is not only a connector, but it's also the subject of the clause at the same time. Take a look at the examples below. I have no idea what is in the box. So here, what is a connector, but it's also the subject of the second sentence. We are worried about who will replace the former president. Again, who is the connector, but subject of the second sentence at the same time. Whoever is going to the concert must buy the tickets in advance. Whoever is going, the noun clause used as the subject. Okay? So there is one more example that I got from the TOEFL test. Was on the newspaper got me very upset. What do you think is the correct in this case? A, B, C, D, or E?
C.
E.
E. E. Or
C. What?
E
C.
or B? C.
Let us see.
C.
Everybody now agrees that the correct is letter C. Yes?
What? Yes.
Yes.
It is not possible because it was on the newspaper got me. No sense. I would have two sentences. It was got me, but then no subject for the second verb. Okay, so it's not possible to be. This story is the same case of it. It's not possible because I don't have a subject for got. What was on the newspaper? What is a connector? It can be the subject. What was on newspaper got me very upset. Okay, that's the correct answer. Letter C. And just to finish, I have here a list of the noun clause connector. These are the only ones that can be used as subject. Who, what, which, or whoever, whatever, whichever. Do you know the difference between who and whoever, what, whatever, which, whichever? There are others, but they cannot be used as the subject. For example, whenever, wherever, okay? Because these are always time or place expressions, so they can never be the subject. Subject is only who, what, which, or whoever, whatever, whichever. Do you know the difference or no?
I don't know, but I can understand.
Yeah,
the
it's the same.
compounds.
Okay. Yeah, but do you know the meaning?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Let's suppose that Livia is going out on a date with someone who she's very much interested in getting engaged with. Understand?
Yeah.
Very much interested. And then the guy asks her, where would you like to go, baby? Wherever you want.
Whatever. I wouldn't say that.
What would you like to have, baby? Whatever you want.
Yes.
What would you like to drink? Well, whatever you decide. Okay? This is when you...
That is not me, teacher.
But I was very clear. I said, you're very much interested in getting the ring, understand? Then you have to make some exceptions, okay? If the guy says, where would you like to go? Let's go to this place. Oops, I'm going to be afraid. Oh, right, Max? Okay.
Right. I agree with you. Totally agree.
Oh, thank you very much. At least there's one guy to agree with me, okay? At the first date, you have to be very nice, very kind. The first date. After you get the ring, I want this. I want to go there, okay?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yes. So the constructions here are the same. Subject, verb plus noun connector as the subject plus verb. I understand what happened. You see, it's not necessarily say I understand what it happened. No, what is the subject? What happened was not good at all. What happened is the subject placed at the beginning. Was not good at all. So,
Yeah.
I have here a summary, in short, in a nutshell, everything I explained. I have here some exercise for you to try to complete using your imagination. I cannot understand why you said that. I cannot understand why they did that. Or I cannot understand what happened. Sometimes you see an accident and it's so confused, you say, I can't understand what happened. So use your imagination to complete. I have replied to all of them using my eyes, but you don't have to think like me, of course. Just to, if you're not sure, you can look here for some ideas. And Marcos, I got one exercise from the TOEFL test.
Oh, very nice, teacher.
This one I copied from the TOEFL. They have been used in real TOEFL tests, and all the sentences can be correct or incorrect. If they are correct, just put a C in front. If they are incorrect, you put a I in front, and then you rewrite them to make them correct. Understand? Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. This is all for today, guys. I see you tomorrow, and tomorrow we will see if you have any problem. I suggest you to study this. It's very important, okay?
Okay, teacher. Thank you.
Bye-bye. See you.
Thank you so much.
Tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Tomorrow, okay? I hope you have an excellent evening, okay? Bye-bye now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.